Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Mike here at Gamefromscratch, and today we're going to be looking at an incredibly cool and incredibly free tool that you should add to your game development toolbox. It is called Easy Tree, and what does it do? Well, it makes making procedural trees easy, so it's well named. You see it in action right here. I'm going to give you the very simplest demonstration first, and then we'll get back into some of the more details of what this is capable of. But you notice right off the hop, there is a tree. This is an ash tree. It is being created with this value. We can randomize it. You're going to get a variety of different trees. We've got ash trees. We've got aspen trees. We have bushes in a variety of different formats. And then we have oak trees, like so. Medium oak, very large oaks, and then we have pine trees from small to large. And every one of these, you have a wide amount of control over it. We'll get back to that in just a second. And as you can see, you can randomize them. And then when you've got your trees, you may want to export them out to your game engine of choice. You have two options. If your game engine is 2D, what you're going to want to do is export this as a PNG. If your game is 3D, you're going to want to export this as a GLB. All right, so we've done that. So now we're going to notice in our downloads folder right here, we have two values. The first one is our rendered sprite. Boom, you can drop that into your 2D game of choice and you have a tree. Obviously, if I move this around like so, we are going to get a different render result. So there we go. Now we'll export that ping out and head on back over. And by the way, you'll notice how fast it is. There is your sprite. So it's going to render based off its positioning in the camera. But what the majority of you are probably going to do is take the GLB. This is the 3D format of it. GLB is supported by most devices out there. And what we're going to do is demonstrate this in Godot as an example. So we're going to create this new project right here. Let's go ahead and create it like this. And this gives you an idea of how easy it is to use these assets in a game. So here, create our 3D scene. Let's go back over here, take our GLB file, drop it into our world. It will go ahead and import it. As you're noticing, it has all of the textures, including a normal map here as well. I'm not sure what this one is doing, but boom, there we go. So there is our tree ready to use in our game. And you can see here, it comes out looking very good, but the polygon count isn't obscene. You can actually find that information out over here. So you go back over to tree, go down to info, and you will see the counts over there. Now, unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be any control over LOD levels, so you may have to do that yourself. A lot of times though, for example here, under the import, your game engine will automatically do LOD level creations for you. So that's probably not a big deal. You could get a lower level LOD version generated. So you can see generate LODs available right there. But you could also have had it, again, it would be cool if the tool had that. So if I wanted to have a lower polygon version, I could make it accordingly. But that is how easy it is to get things out. Once again, super easy to get it in your tool of choice. Here we are in Blender. Let's go ahead and sacrifice a default cube, grab our GLB, and pop. Bring it in, import that in, switch over to rendered view, and there you see it is in Blender. So that's how simple it is. You may want to come in here and actually make it so that you can see. There you go. That is how simple it is to import it into another tool. Super simple, super straightforward. So now let's go back over and take a look at what else it can do. So right now we've got a pine tree, for example. We have fine-tune control over a number of aspects. So obviously you see I have camera controls here. I can change out the bark. Let's come down here to bark. We could change from pine to birch to oak to willow, and so on. On top of that, you've got full control over how it is textured. We could also do a flat shading to it. If we want to match the aesthetic of your game, you can scale how the texture is actually created on the trunk, like so. On top of that, you can actually even apply a tint to it, so you can create it to whatever color you want. Nice fine-tune controls over here. Again, you got fine-tune control over the entire branching, including, obviously, this is an evergreen tree, but we could change it over to deciduous and get deciduous parts. Here, we can change the angle of our tree, like so, multiple different times. Create how children are created, and so on. You can pick the growth direction of the tree, so you can put a bend or a lean into it, have the amount vary right there. You got a huge amount of control, including even, like, again, twisting and so on. You got control over your leaves. So in this case, we're using pine leaves. So if we really wanted, we could turn oak leaves onto our pine tree, which would be weird. Again, aspen and ash, and then back to pine. You get control over how they're created. So if you want to have single billboard versus double billboard, I think almost always you're going to want double billboard, even though it's increasing the polygon count a bit. Actually, see if that's updated. Does that show immediately? Yeah, so you see you go from 15,000 to 22,000. So 7,000 extra polygons, but it just looks so much better, in my humble opinion. And you can control over how they're created. You can also control how many leaves are actually created. So we're getting up to a much higher polygon count there, but if you wanted to have it, you can do so. Or we could lower that down quite a bit. And then again, you can see it's dropping it down there. We also have the ability to trellis. So this is going to, makes more example. Let's come up here and switch instead to like a bush. And then you can use trellis like if you were like growing them up a trellis, like a vine does up the trellis here. So I go ahead and put a trellis in place. So I can enable it right there. You see the trellis right there. And then as I move the trellis, you can think of it like a powerful magnet. So as we move, the tree is going to trap toward it, and you can actually pick the amount that it sucks into the trellis. Again, think of the trellis like a magnet for sucking your thing in. There is actually a defaulted type for trellises right there. So if you're trying to create, again, like a vine that goes up the side of a building or something, you might use trellis for that. And then on top of that, we've got a number of other controls. We've got controls here for your camera. We can have it auto-rotate around the scene. Unfortunately, it auto-rotates itself, not orbit, which would be nicer if it was an orbit, in my opinion, than a rotate. But still, if you didn't move things from the origin, that would work basically like an orbit. And we've also got a little bit of control over the environment, but this is just for, what your rendering is going to look like here. And you can also turn the grass on or off. Ultimately, the grass is just there for the viewport. You're just exporting out the tree when you are ultimately done. Now, what's the more astute among you may have noticed is this is actually a web app. You notice right here, it is available at easytree.dev. If you want to go ahead and check this out, literally zero barrier of entry. It is completely free to use. It exports out again as GLB or a PNG, so you can use this in basically any game engine, 2D or 3D. It is extremely fast to create trees. As you saw, it will create a wide variety of trees as well. The interface is super simple to work with, and best of all, this is also an open source project as well. It is written in the JavaScript language. It is also using Three.js for the library that it works with. Again, completely open source. It's available under the MIT license. So if you need a procedural tree generator, EasyTree has you covered. And best of all, it actually does incredibly good results. Again, the only thing I would like here would be like an LOD generation built into this version, so you could control the polygon count directly. Well, as opposed, you can control it to a certain degree by setting the parameters, but it'd be cool to set a polygon budget. But that is a huge wish list item, and frankly, there are all kinds of LOD solutions out there, so there's probably better results anyways. So ladies and gentlemen, that is EasyTree, probably the easiest procedural tree generator I have seen in quite a while. And as you saw, super simple to use, super simple to get it in your game engine. I highly recommend you check it out. And again, if you like what he's done here, do drop him a star. He's got a lot of them, but let's give him a couple more. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is EasyTree. Let me know what you think. Comments down below. I will talk to you all later. Goodbye.